it's a tough one because you want to hold on to your brand identity and you want to create your own brand awareness. And hopefully, if you can kind of bundle yourself into a bigger brand, then you get this whole halo effect, which can be really great for your brand. So it's challenging. One of the startups I worked for in the past, we did very much that. We were kind of, it was powered by our startup. And so it was a challenge from a marketing perspective because I had to grow brand awareness for our brand, and then I had to grow brand awareness under the powered by through affiliates. But I chose to really focus on growing our brand awareness. And I didn't have a lot of dollars, we had a very limited budget, and to really grow it there. And then over time, and it's not gonna happen overnight, but 4 years later, that really meant something when it was partnered with another brand or sold through an affiliate channel. But I chose to spend the dollars on growing, the company's brand, and then figuring out how to do the powered by and letting that happen.
I have one example that might help a little bit is, I used to run marketing for Continuum, which is a design and innovation firm. What they do, there's a lot of intellectual IP around, right? So they invented the Swiffer for Procter & Gamble. So what I did was actually, and one of the things that I struggled with for a little time there was the Target cart. So if you've been to the Target store and you've seen the plastic cart, Continuum designed that. And Target would not allow Continuum to take credit for that because they wanted people to assume that the design was done in-house. So I didn't give up because that was a really important design for a variety of ways, of which I won't go into tonight. I actually partnered with Target and said, let me help make you a hero. So brought them to the design, the kind of industry competitions, if you will, the IDSA awards and things like that, helped them develop their story, which they loved and they felt so proud about. And then we could take that story eventually because we helped them create it and say, here's the story. So it was bringing them along in the journey and creating their own story that then they felt kind of loosened that sort of, tightness that they had around keeping it as their own and allowed us to share it as a part of our story as well. So it was, I also spent a lot of time promoting our brand, but I also really put our clients up on a pedestal because then we could kind of gain the halo effect of that.
Two quick thoughts on it. One is, if you have a brand that's pretty strong, if you're the back end brand and it's pretty strong, it's actually pretty easy. Like Diet Coke with Saccharin, Paul Newman's at McDonald's, Ford with now Microsoft Sync. Pretty easy when you have that. But when you don't, and you're the sub and nobody's heard of you, and the parent or whatever it is fairly big, then you have to use them. Because if you say, let's assume Microsoft, nobody knows Microsoft Sync, and you're Sync, and Ford is the big dog, then if you're powering them, that's exactly how Intel did it. When they kept on saying Intel Inside, powered by, everybody's like, who the hell is Intel? Then they built it up, they established it. That takes money, time, effort, and a little bit of luck to do it. But if you're in there for the long haul and you got that killer whatever it is on the back end, then you have to ride their coattail. If they are that big, because people will be curious, why would you say something is inside unless that something is good? And then you have to deliver value. You have to hit them over the head with why is your name important enough to be called with something? Because you did something. At that point, you establish it. But if it's too like-minded in the industry or the consumers, they understand you. Paul Newman, did he really need his name said? No, it helped McDonald's and it helped Paul Newman. Stuff like that. But if not, you got to value the hell out of your stuff and ride their coattail.